All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell, and I kind of want to talk about the war a little bit more, or the potential war, or whatever we got going on. It's not really a full-fledged war yet, but things are getting interesting. Um, First of all, I want to shout out to my man George Lopez, and also all of the Mexican community. I want to talk though mainly about being a good citizen, which I mentioned before. And I think that's what a lot of this is really all about. Um, I think that Trump is like the last of the old line. And I think that everything, all of our rights and everything are being threatened. We can't, the George Lopez situation, the reason why I brought that up is because, now I understand the conservatives are now trying to have him arrested and all this kind of stuff for saying that, that they would do the job of the bounty hunter for half price. And it was a joke. It really was. It was a joke. And everybody basically understood it as a joke. Nobody thought, that he was really being serious. Now, here's the thing. All of our rights are being eroded. So that's freedom of speech. As long as he doesn't, as long as he doesn't basically say, here's the money, do it now, or something like that, some kind of language, that promotes action, I think when we were in law school, what was it, the case where somebody stood up and yelled fire in a crowded theater so that everybody would leave out of the theater so that they could watch the movie by themselves or whatever it was. So you get things like that. But even with that, the bottom line is that that's his freedom of speech, and the same thing is going on. I posted about people being socially or politically and socially correct, and you can't say this and you can say that. Well, I'm not agreeing with everything that everybody says. I don't agree, and I know people don't agree with everything that I say. But here's the thing: everybody should have the right to say what they want to say, as long as it doesn't, as long as it's not, it doesn't harm anybody. And once again, we have to bring up the DeChapelle Stand Up, his last stand up routine, where he talked about, the LGBT, the alphabet community and all of that kind of stuff. People were upset about it, but it's a fact. It's like you can't get upset about things that are factual. And when you get upset about things that are factual or things that are truth, then all of a sudden you are into, regulating what people can and can't say. And just like I was saying, even with the lesbian, gay, transgender community, people don't hate them. They may say something, just and what was really poignant about it is that people talk about different races and different ethnic groups of people all the time. So get over it. We got to be a little bit more. Everything is everybody is so hurt, and just like the whole, even with bullying, because we laugh. People my age, we laugh about bullying and stuff like that. It's like everybody got bullied, or everybody got talked about, or played the dozens, or ranked on each other, whatever you called it, or whatever. That was just part of it, And me and some of my friends, we still do it, and get on the phone, and it's like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, blah, right? But most of it is, it's just done all in fun and in love, and I, so. But and then here's the other thing about what's going on right now. We have to realize the deep white supremacist roots of all of this stuff. See, Trump is like the last of the old guard. He's like 70, 80-year-old guys, all these 70, 80-year-old white guys. Look, the world is never going to be like it was, in World War II, or like it was, even in Vietnam or whatever, because the world is so vastly different now. We got so many different types of people marrying, intermingling with all these different types of people, and even white men. Let me explain something to you. Even white men go to the airport at any time, and you will see white men with Asians, white men with Hispanics. In fact, our last President Bush was married to a lady that was which was Hispanic. Okay, so you're never going to have like this pure lily white race ever again. That's never going to happen. And in fact, it probably never really existed. It probably was more propaganda and a figment of your imagination. Just like look how light skinned I am, and my grandfather, was dark skinned, but that's what I'm trying to say. People love who they want to love. Even when black people get into this thing about, don't marry this, don't marry this person, don't marry that person. Can't say, I'm not 100% happy with it, but guess what? But you ain't gonna stop it. Just like Thomas Jefferson, he loved Sally Hemings. Regardless of what y'all say, he loved that woman. Because you don't stay around a person and have that many children with a person if you don't love them. So black, white, they're different, and he just was under criticism by everybody. Ever since Loving versus Virginia hit the Supreme Court, we've been discussing interracial marriage and all that, because you can't stop, people from loving who they want to. And even if you go into the Bible, go to the Bible. Since all y'all love the Bible so much. Oh, and by the way, that puts me up to the thing about, all the evangelicals now are saying that if you don't support Donald Trump, you're going to go to hell. So all my friends and loved ones, I'm sorry. Oh. But, so, and what's funny is half of these evangelicals are like the biggest sinners, cheated on their wives, had affairs, been caught with prostitutes, all this stuff. But yet still, if I don't support Donald Trump, I'm going to hell. Anyway, but you got to understand, you're not going to change people. When I say go to your Bible and look at what happened during the Exodus. Okay, so go and read. And I say the Bible has some truth to it, and it has wisdom in it. Even though most of it is plagiarized and lies, but you can read through the lines. So that's what rightly dividing the word of truth. So you can kind of pick the truth out. Well, I don't know if you recall, but every time this Hebrew God sent the Hebrews somewhere, what did he do? He told them to kill all the men and all the women who had been with somebody, but all the other women you could get for yourself. And these were all not of the same. And even when they left out of Egypt, what did they say? They left as a mixed multitude. That's the prophecy. So y'all so prophetic and that's the prophecy of the Bible. So, or is it, manifest, is the manifest destiny, or whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it, but whatever you call it, is, or self-fulfilling prophecy, or however you want to label it. Okay. But that's what's happening in the world. And people are meeting up with people because now communication, travel, everything, now you can literally get on a plane and within a day you can be anywhere in the world. And, you see people and they look good. You're like, oh, because even God said, yeah, y'all just kill all the women who have known a man, kill them. But the rest of them, y'all can have. so in my Chris Rock, so I'm with, so you can't really argue with anything. Or just like somebody sees something and people are attracted. Opposites attract. It's the universal law of polarity. It's a universal law, y'all. It cannot be thwarted just because you got an opinion. Universal law. And that's why I teach and preach that now, as opposed to Christianity or Islam or any other religion. Because universal law is universal law. It don't matter what color you are. It don't matter how old you are. It don't matter your gender. It don't matter your sexual orientation. It don't matter none of that stuff. What it matters is that that's what the Most High has dictated to be the natural order of things on the earth. Just like so and once again, I'll use gravity. Gravity is gravity. If you throw something up in the air, whether you're black, white, green, red, yellow, or brown, if you throw something up in the air, it's going to fall back to the ground and it's going to hit the ground because gravity is universal. So that's why all of this stuff is ridiculous. And to sit up here, and especially because all this stuff that Trump is doing is just modern day crusades. It's like anybody that's smart and knows anything, and so that's why they use all this propaganda. Also, look at what he did today. He basically he gave the military a pay raise. And how long have they been fighting again? Look, the conservative Republicans have been fighting against giving the military a pay raise forever. And now all of a sudden he starts this junk and he gives them a raise. You think that's motivated by anything? Think that has some outside motivation to it at all? Come on, y'all, think. Really? Think. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Just think. Why would he do that today? And then look out on the street. See, I work with homeless people, and I've always worked with homeless people. Look out on the street, especially go to L.A. where they have the largest homeless population. And you want to know something? Most of those people that are out on the street, you know what they are? They're military veterans and the families of military veterans who went to Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan to fight in wars for the United States of America, and right now they are walking up and down the streets homeless, not knowing where their next meal is coming from. All right, so don't act like that. And it's true. I mean, right now I guarantee you, I could go out on the street and I could find 20 veterans, or I could find a bunch of veterans who need health care or need mental care or need all of that stuff, but Congress ain't trying to help them. You know who they're trying to help? Which is, I posted about this. All of these big corporations, the McDonnell Douglases, the Raytheons, the Honeywells, all of those big companies that have defense contracts, they're the ones that are about to get rich. And guess what? We're going to die. All of the poor and middle class people are going to die. They're going to get richer, and more people are going to be homeless when they come back from wherever Trump decides to send them. Let's not be fooled. And that's why, like I said, that's why I love social media. I don't work for nobody. All right, I work for me. I work for myself. So I say what the truth is and what I know to be the truth from being out on the street. All right, I have been homeless myself. All right, so don't try to sit up there and say, we're in all this danger from the Iranians. We're not in any danger from the Iranians. The Iranians don't want any trouble. They never have and never will. What we want is that 52 billion gallons of oil that they got under the land over there. That's what it's really all about. Just like in Afghanistan, ain't nothing in Afghanistan. I believe it was D.L. Hughley, the comedian, that was talking about Afghanistan, and I guess he went and toured over there. And what did he say? He said, ain't nothing in Afghanistan. It's a bunch of empty dirt, and the only thing that's worth anything in Afghanistan is what? Poppies, where they make black tar heroin, which is where we make what? Opioids. And now all of a sudden, why does America have the largest opioid crisis in history when we don't even make the stuff over here? And why are we guarding poppy fields? Think, in the spirit of George Clinton, think it ain't illegal yet. They're going to figure out a way to make that illegal too, or to make that, politically incorrect or socially incorrect or whatever. But just y'all got to start thinking about this stuff, because this is the real deal. Basically what we do is we make weapons and sell drugs. That's the United States of America. But you have to do it through their channels. Just like now, marijuana is becoming legal, but while it was illegal, they used it to lock up black men and black women in prisons all across America for selling marijuana. And now all of a sudden it's legal, and they're the corporations and the people that are making the most money off of it. Just trying to enlighten y'all just a little bit. All right. So anyway, so don't be fooled by all this stuff that's going on. We ain't got nothing. And that's how come I say, look, if y'all to Iran, to the Iranians, look, don't nobody got nothing against y'all. For real. And if you want to be, Muslim, God bless you. May the Most High continue to bless you and keep you. All I need is the like button, the share button, the notification button. Hit those and hit the love button.